Am I audible now? I set up all the settings of audio and video. So I hope I'm audible, right? Yes. Kalyan sir, just respond in the chat. Thank you. Thank you for responding, each one of you. And I would like to share the screen first. So today itself, from today itself, we have to start the concept of React.js also. That is very, very important. So what are the concepts we covered in the last session? Kindly respond. So we discussed. Thank you for sharing the syllabus, Durga Vasu. So yes, we discussed navigator. So all of these concepts are BOM properties only. Navigator, window, location. Yes, we discussed JSON also, and we also completed the references between REST and spread parameter, right? We also discussed the concepts of REST and spread parameters. Yes, so we discussed REST and spread parameters, and also discussed the window object as well as navigator object. No, yes, we gave an introduction to history, so we have two more functions left, I think. So Bharat also shared the sheet document. Okay, thank you, Bharat. So yes, we have to discuss the screen. That is one of the important aspect. So remember everyone, when we are going to work with the screen object, so we can get the screen resolutions, screen height, screen width, number of pixel density. So those kind of criteria we can get by using the screen object. So thank you, Durga Vasu. So screen object is pending. So I will share my, yes, I already shared my screen, right? So I would like to open the console. So here I'm going to open the console. So you can use window.screen or you can use directory screen. So I just used screen. Screen is one of the object, predefined object for JavaScript. By using the screen object, we can get the height, width of specific screen. For example, here I'm using 14 inches, 14-inch desktop. So that means it have nearly 1366 px of width. Very similar to this, I'm able to observe the height is 786 px. So let me use screen.height again. I just used screen.height. So height, yes, height. Let me execute. Now my screen height is 768 px. Very similar to this, I am going to use screen.width. That means this is the screen width here, 1366. Or we can use screen.avail width. So these two are same. Avail width, that is 1366. That means avail width means we have some kind of width that is in resolution, that is in pixels, but how much of data, how much of screen we are using, that is called avail width. So most of the cases we are using whatever the width we have. So that is the reason these two are gives you same kind of result. But when we are having the screen width larger than the avail width, then we can get different data. Avail data means how much data, how much width we are using, and screen width means how much width we are having. That is the difference. Very similar to this, we can use screen.avail height. Avail height. Yes, it's a screen, right? So I declare this as something like Now this is 760. So these two are very similar. Avail height or fixed height or avail width or fixed width. These two are very similar. But there is very less difference. That is, screen width means we can get the entire width of the screen. Avail width means how much data, how much width we are using. That is the difference between the avail and normal properties. All right. So we discussed four kinds of properties of screen object, and similarly we have color depth also. So we can get the color depth here. So let me use screen dot color depth. Now 24 is the color depth here. So these are the functions. So we discussed height, width, avail height, avail width, and color depth. Is that clear, everyone? Durga Vasu, yes. Is that clear, everyone? These are the 5 functions. No, not 5 functions. These are the properties. 5 properties for the screen object: height, width, avail height, avail width, and depth, color depth. No. We can't change the screen color. So it's not possible. So clear. Can we change? No. We can't change the screen color, but we can change the background color of a web page dynamically. That is the perfect solution. So we should not change the color of a screen, but we can change the color of the particular website. So this is all about the screen object, and the next one is location. So whenever we are going to use location object, the location refers to the URL part. So we have to use location object directly. So let me use this. So we are able to see different kinds of entries are available. So those are separated with key and value. So if you observe this, we are able to see hash. Hash means when we are going to navigating within the same page, we need to use hash. So here we don't have any kind of such criteria. That is the reason we are not able to see any kind of hash property here. And very similar to this, host. Host is nothing but the URL which we are getting from. So there is small difference between host name and host. Host name returns the protocol also. href also for getting the full URL, and similarly protocol is for getting a specific protocol. So let me show you with example. So we are getting all the default values for this Chrome. I'm going to open the new website. So let me open a new website. I'm going to open I'm going to open APSSDC.in. I'm using APSSDC dot. So here I'm going to use location.href. href means number of hash codes available. So if you observe this here, so we are able to see home. Home is the hash code. So if you observe this here, we are able to see home. This is the hash. So this is the sub URL part. So we are able to see entire URL here. So very similar to this, I'm going to navigate to another page, that is dashboard and Huawei dashboard. So I'm going to execute the location.href again. When we are going to use href, we can get the full width of the URL. Full. Your screen is not visible. I think it's visible now. Screen visible. Yes. Is my screen visible? Screen is not visible. Please share this. Yes, it's visible now. Okay, okay. So I just opened the APSSDC.in. This is the official website for APSSDC. So here I'm going to use location. So location.href. href means we can get the full URL. So this is APSSDC.in and here home and overview dashboard. Alright, so this is the full width or full URL of the specific website, that is location.href. That's fine. And very similar to this, when I'm going to use location.host, I'm going to use host here. LOCAT, yes, location spelling is wrong. Location.host. So now this is the host, www.apssdc.in. This is the host. And what is the host name? Location.host name. I'm going to use host name. So here we are getting www.apssdc.in only. But when we are going to use protocols, something like port numbers, for example, 8000 or 9000 like that, so we can get entire data by using host name along with the port. But when we are going to use host only, that means we can get the only URL, host URL, that is www.apssdc.in. Very similar to this, when we are going to use host name, if we have any kind of port number, then the port number is also appears in the output panel. So this is the difference between host and host name. And next one is protocol. So you know what is a protocol. So for checking the security, we have to use protocols first. So we can give an alert by using these protocols. Let me use location.protocol. It returns the protocol. So here when we are going to have HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and S is for Secure Socket Layer. So when this website is having security, then we can say that that is a secured website. That means the website maintains SSL certificate. So in some other websites, we are not able to see S here, that is HTTPS. We can see HTTP. For example, so HTTP I'm going to open this fast.com. So this is also HTTPS. This is also secured. So any other website that doesn't have any kind of security, so let me use So we have to use the website without having any kind of security. Most of the, yes, this is also secured because this is also from GitHub. Okay, so let me open. No. Okay, so any website that doesn't have any kind of security, we can get HTTP instead of HTTPS. Here we are able to see HTTPS, that is, it's having full security. So that is all about the location protocol. So we discussed location.hash. We use location.hash again. Location.hash, and we don't have any kind of hashes. That is the reason we are not able to get any kind of information in the result panel. So we discussed location.hash and location.host, location.hostname, and we also discussed location.protocol. Similarly, we discussed location.href. href means we can get entire web URL. So if you want to change the port, for example, I would like to assign port to this location. So I am going to use location.port equals to, I am going to use 8000. Now if you observe this page is reloading, and we assigned 8000 as the port here. So it's still loading. So still it's loading. So we used to have high-end internet access. That is the reason it's getting delay. Has no oh. So who is that? Kumar Venkatasai Nikhil. So he sent one website that is ignou.ac.in. So let me copy this and open it in the browser. So why we are doing experiments on official website of APSSDC, we can use external website that is agnou.ac.in. So this is not secure. So this website doesn't have any kind of security. So let me check this by using, so which parameter we have to use for checking the protocol? We can check Blogspot also. Blogspot is also having high security, right? Okay, no problem. We will check it out, that also. So let me use the People's University, this one. Okay. So I'm going to use location.protocol. Now, yes, this doesn't have any kind of security. Now we are able to observe that is HTTP only. This website doesn't have any kind of secure socket layer. We are not able to see HTTPS here. We are able to see HTTP only. All right. So yes, and so if you want to reload this website, we have to use, now these are the functions. Till now we discussed the properties of location object. So here we have to discuss the functions. The functions, nothing but we have to call with parentheses. I'm going to use reload. Reload is one of the function. All right, so it is reloading now. So if you observe this, it's loading again. Very similar to this, I'm going to assign a new URL to this website, that is ignou.ac.in. I'm going to assign a new URL. So this is all about doing dynamically. If you want to work with the URL, if you observe this here, we are using dynamical contents here. So I'm going to use location dot href location, no, location dot assign. I'm going to use assign. So I would like to provide a new URL to this. So that is something like Google. I just used Google, and it's loading. Still it's loading again. After loading this, we can observe the output, that the change or the difference in the URL path. Still it's loading. Okay, whatever it may be, we can assign Google to this URL by using this assign. So we can get a forward slash, and after that we will see that Google. So it's loading very lately. That is the reason I'm skipping this. And the next function is replace. I'm going to use replace. Here I'm going to replace with www.google.com. Again it's loading. Okay, so you can open the console. Location dot replace. www.google.com. Yes, it's loaded a new page very similar to this. I'm going to use replace again. I'm going to use facebook.com. Replacing. There is no website with the facebook.com. I'm going to use fast.com instead of it. Execute. No, fast.com is also not available. I'm going to use fast.com again. Yes, this is fast.com. And here it's opening. Yes, it's loaded. It's loading. So again, I'm going to open from this Google Chrome. So yes, it's opening now. So previously we have Chrome, and now we're able to see the fast.com. This is how we're going to replace a specific website with a new website. Alright, let me open the document. So we discussed the screen object. In the screen object, we discussed height, avail height, width, avail width, and we used color depth also. So these are the screen properties we discussed, and we discussed location object. Okay, so I would like to share this document. So just to save this document anywhere, so copy link, and I'm going to share this. Okay, so we discussed screen and we discussed location. So in that location we discussed href for getting entire URL, host, that is the domain name, and if you are using any kind of port, we can get that by using host name. Similarly, we discussed protocol, and so what are other concepts we discussed? Okay, these are the location properties, and we have a parameter, that is path name, that is also for getting the path name of the URL, path name, and we discussed location functions also. So those are, so we just used reload method for reloading a web page, and we used replace for replacing web document with other document, and similarly we discussed assign. So this is all about the location. This is all about the location. Replace is one function, assign is one function, but has is the property. This is not a function. This is a property we mentioned in the document. So these are the properties, location properties. So location properties are completely different, and location functions are completely different. Function have a code module in it. The path name, the property is completely different. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? Respond in the chat box. Yes. Yes. Okay. And very similar to this, I'm going to use the history object. We already discussed about history object, but in a history object we have to discuss two functions. These two functions are very useful. These two are the back and forward functions. So for example, I'm going to use history. This is one of the JavaScript object. This is the predefined object. So we opened two websites in this tab. That is the reason we are getting length as 2. And scroll rest, that means we can scroll automatically. So similarly, when we are going to navigate to the backward direction, we have to use history.back function. Let me reload this once, and I'm going to use history.back function again. This is not loading here, so let me open Google. I just opened the google.com. From here I'm going to search for Facebook. I'm going to use FB. So this is that, right? So now I'm going to use history.back function, execute. Now we are going back. If you want to forward to this, we can use history dot forward. So now this is the Facebook. I'm going to use history dot back. I'm going to use parameter 2. What will happen? So when we are going to use the number in the parameter list, we can forward to the specific number of searches. And when we are going to use a specific number for the back function, we have to go back with specific number of searches. So this is the difference. These two are the important functions in history object. So we discussed the history object in JavaScript. In that we discussed back function. Similarly, we discussed the forward function. So with this topic, the concept of BOM completed, that is browser object model completed. Now is that clear, everyone? Kindly respond in the chat box. Is that clear? Yes, I'm going to open the document. So if any pending topics are there, let me check it for. So pop-ups. So reserved words means we have nearly 32 reserved words. So we need not to remember all the words, but we have to know what are the reserved words that exist in the JavaScript. So that includes number, string, data types, looping concepts, special keywords like map, foreign, for off. So these all are reserved words. Okay, we need to discuss the transfer statements. Okay, and everything is completed. DOM is also completed. Arrays, strings, dates, regular expressions. We did the form validation, but we didn't use any kind of validations for checkbox and menus. Okay, we will do that. We will do that later when we are going to work with the React. So because we have to use the menus in React also, checkboxes in React also, we will discuss about these topics there. And we discussed events also, on click, on change, and so most of you guys are asking me how to do the event listener, how to use event listener. We will discuss about them in React also. Don't worry about it. So page redirection, that is one of the important concept. Page redirection. So for page redirection, we have to use window.open method. So let me use window.open method. Window.open, I'm going to use www.facebook.com. I just use facebook.com, that's it. Now this page, yes, this page is not available. No. When we are going to use this text is a host name. Google is host name, but we are using www.facebook.com as sub URL for this. That is the reason we are getting this error. When we are going to have sub URL, we can open that by using window.open method. So this is how we are going to do that. So we just open this by using window.open method. So in the specific website, we can use that. But when we are going to open in external website, that is very complex. Okay, so we have to use window.open for redirection. Getting called. Or we can use the location object also. Not only window.open, we can use location object also. So by using location object also, we discussed already a replace method. So by using that, we can navigate to another web page. That is page redirection. And So, and next concepts. Yes, yes, we have to discuss the concept of timers also. So we have uh, two functions for timers. So those are set interval and set timeout. So let me open that in console window. So here I'm going to use set timeout function first. Set timeout, and we can use a function in it. So first parameter is a function. So when another function accepts a function as a parameter, that is called as higher order function. So set timeout is a higher order function, and then we have to specify the time also, that is 3000. 3000 means 3 seconds. So now I'm going to use a return statement. Return hi. I just used hi. So after 3 seconds we will execute the set timeout, the function available in the set timeout. So what is the data available in that? So that is hi. Yes, yes. So we need not use any kind of return statement. Let me use the console.log statement instead of return. Console.log, and I'm going to use hi. Now after 3 seconds, yes, we are able to see that hi message. So we are getting some kind of timing delay between the execution and printing of the statement. Now we are able to see that. So this count is nothing but how many set timeout functions we used up to now. That is the count value here. Again, we can use set interval also. Set interval, and we can use a function, and this is also a function. So we can mention the timing delay. It is 3000. I'm going to use another console statement here. Console.log, and so I would like to use no, we use hi directly. Similarly, we can get the 3000 here. So this is all about the set interval and set timeout. So when we have to we can find the differences between set interval and set timeout. So when we are going to use set interval function, it continuously running. So if you want to stop that, we have to use clear interval function. So for example, here I'm going to define a function, that is function great. All right. So in that great function, I'm going to use another return statement or console.log statement. So if you observe this, the above count is increasing because we just used the set interval function. So I'm going to use console.log, and I'm going to use something like hello. All right. So we just used a function, that is hello. That's it. I'm going to use set interval function again. Set interval, and I'm going to use this function, that is greet, and the next parameter is 2000, that is for 2 seconds. Here we are able to see hi, hello. Hello is repeating, right? Hi and hello is repeating. So because we didn't stop that, we are continuously focusing on the set interval function. So we can clear that by using clear interval. And we have to use the function. So the function is greet. So let me execute. No, that's not stopped here. So it's still printing now. just used clear interval. Okay, so let me refresh this page once. It continuously getting data, and here I am going to use the function, that is function that is greet. All right, so we just use greet function, and here I'm going to use console.log statement, and I'm going to use hello. So this is the greet function. I'm going to use set timeout functioning. No, set interval. Set interval. I'm going to use greet again, and we have to specify the timing gap, that is in milliseconds. So now it's at 2 seconds. So for better understanding, or for better implementation, we have to use a variable for declaring this, where timer start. I just use a variable with the name of timer start, and let me execute the timer start. So yes, so we're able to see hello is repeating now. So we just executed by using this timer start, and I'm going to use set interval. Clear interval. Clear interval. In that, I'm going to use a variable, that is timer start. All right. Now let me execute. Now we are not able to see the hello again, because the hello is completely stopped here. So we just used the set timeout function, set interval, and clear interval. So these are the timer functions in JavaScript. Timer functions, those are set timeout, set interval, and clear interval. Is that clear, everyone? Is that clear? So by using set timer function, we can execute one statement at a time. But when we are going to use set interval function, we can complete the repetition. And very similar to this, if you want to stop that, we have to use clear interval function. That's it. This is the timer functions in JavaScript. And to open the document, just page printing. Okay. So we can print the entire document by using window.print function. So we can use window.print function. Let me execute. Yes, now this is the printing page. We can save this PDF, or you can select the destination. If you have any kind of printers available, you can select this from here. So not only this, when we are going to use any kind of document, for example, when we are going to register with the TCS, so we will get a final PDF there. So they are using this function, window.print function. When we are going to click on a specific button, the entire page will be printed by using this window.print. This is how we are going to print a page in JavaScript. We have to use window.print statement. Is that clear now? Yeah, this is also print. Got it. So this is all about page printing, and let me open the document. So here we have a pending topic, that is debugger. So for debugging, we can use console.log statement for checking the errors, or we can use debugger keyword also. So what I'm going to do, so we have to use debugger. So okay, I will take an example and I will explain. Okay, so we focused on these kind of functions, debuggers, before 1 year or 2 years. So let me explore it again. So debugger means we can stop the execution of a program. So for example, I'm going to use a function, not a function, I'm going to use multiple statements, something like where a equals to 10. I'm going to use where a equals to 10, and I'm going to use where b equals to 20. Alright, so here I'm going to use console.log statement, console.log, and I'm going to use a. I'm going to print a, and similarly I'm going to use debugger. When we are going to use debugger, we can execute the program here. And very similar to this, I'm going to use console.log, the third line, that is b. So let me execute. Now we are able to see 10 only. So this is debugger because it stops here. When we are going to click on this pause button, resume button, we can continue the execution. So if we check the console window again, now we are able to see 2 answers. Again, when we are going to run this again, so these 3 steps are continuously executing, but after that we will call this debugger. So this debugger is for checking the errors. Most of the cases we have to use debugger for checking the errors. So when we are going to implement the statement, we have to check the functionality of it. So for that reason, we have to use debugger. So here we used where a equals to 10 and where b equals to 20. So we used console.log a. So this part will be executed. But when we are going to use debugger, this part, the next part, the final part won't be executed. It asks for resume the execution. So let me check this. If you observe the console is having 10 only. But in debugger, so where is that debugger? Yeah, no, the debugger. We just clicks on this. Okay, let me refresh. No. Here we are able to see the debugger, right? So where is that debugger? Zoom out. I'm going to zoom out this. And I'm going to check for the debugger. So debugger. No. Yes. In the sources we are able to see this. So in the console we are having 10 only. So we can check the modules here. So we used debugger here, and so if you are using any kind of events, you can check the events. If any kind of threads are there, we can find the threads here. So most of the cases when we are going to use debugger, that may be a bigger project. So we are using DOM breakpoints. No. Fetch, we don't have any fetches. Global listeners also, we didn't use any kind of global listeners. We didn't use any kind of event listeners also. Whatever it may be, this debug stops the execution when we are going to click till when we are going to click on this resume button. So let me click on this resume button. Yes, and now in the console we are able to see that 20 as the result. So this is all about the debugger concept. So up to now we completed all the concepts which are in the syllabus given by Mr. John. So we discussed object literals also. We discussed about object literals, rest and spread, default function parameter. We already discussed in function, arrow function. Yes, we discussed all these concepts, right? So is that clear, everyone, up to now? Kindly respond in the chat box. clear. So any doubts or any queries? If you have any queries, you can ask. We already discussed about hoisting, right? So we already discussed hoisting. So when we are going to discuss about the difference between let var, we discussed the concept of hoisting. Hoisting means before executing the program, we can get the values from the statements which are going to declare with the var keyword. So when we are going to use var keyword for declaring a variable, those values will be called first when we are going to execute the program. That is called hoisting. That doesn't have any kind of block scope, that's having global scope. So if you want to provide the block scope, we have to use please provide official PDF documentation link for download reference manual. Okay, so we are preparing a handbook like that by using JavaScript concepts. So this is completely a practical purpose. So there is no theoretical concept available in the book. So we are preparing that book and we will share that very soon. Don't worry about it. So we included some kind of pieces. Even we included the regular expressions, arrays concept, string concepts, BOM object model, browser object model, and different kinds of functions available in JavaScript. We discussed the concepts in that. So we will share that very soon. Don't worry about it because this is under construction. So after the completion, we will definitely share the document to you. Okay, now it's time to start the concept of React. Yes, are you ready now? I'm going to start it. Yes. So you complete here. We successfully completed the concepts of JavaScript, right? So whatever the concepts we discussed, that's up to now all are clear, right? So we can start the React.js concept. All right. So first of all, I would like to check the documentation, the React.js. So ES6 JavaScript overview and introduction to React, environment basic setup, React use of node, React environment setup, React use of node, npm, understand single page applications and multi-page applications. Okay, that's okay. We will discuss about it. So there is no doubts. Yes. Oh, okay, no doubts. So most of the cases I'm getting doubts from Durga Vasu. Yes. Barasimha Reddy. What about Fatima? Is it clear, Fatima? Everything? Do you have any queries? My voice is not audible. Yes, I'm audible. Okay, so now it's time to start with the concept of React.js. So first of all, we have to know why we need to use React. Why we need to use React. And what is the importance of React? What are the different kinds of features available in that? So React is a front-end library. It's not a framework. Remember everyone, it's not a framework. So most of the people or most of the fellows interpreted this as a framework, but this is not a framework. This is a pure library. So this is one of the JavaScript library. React is one of the JavaScript library. All right. So do we know what is a library and what is a framework? Anyone? What is the difference between library and framework? Can anybody respond in the chat box? What is the differences between the library and framework? Library means defined by proprietor. Okay, what about the framework? What about the framework? Framework means a model. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. Framework means a model created by the user. Okay, so I would like to explain what is a library and what is a framework. So when we're going to build a project, we have a code. For example, we have a code. So we need to implement few kinds of functionalities in. So we need to use the library in the code. So when we're going to do any kind of modifications in the code, we have to use library. But framework is completely different. We have to use code part in the framework for getting exact result. So we have to use library in the code part, but we have to use code in the framework. Framework is complete a bundle. But when we are going to compare with the React.js, so we need not to use that is a library. That's a library. So when we are going to use React.js in our code part, we are not able to use that. So we can use this as a framework. But this is not a framework, but this has some kind of properties like framework. That is the reason most of the people are interpreted this as a framework. Framework means we have updates, library. We have updates. Library means not have updates. Even jQuery also we are getting some kind of updates, right? In React also we are getting updates. That is also library. Angular also is a framework, but we are able to get the updates. So framework means we have to embed our code for getting proper result. Library means we have to use library in our code for getting exact results. That is the reference. Library charge of the flow of the application, where the framework in charge the flow when we use. Maybe. Now, why we are using React.js? That is one of the important things. So we know what is React. What is React means we have to use React for front-end applications. We have to design the user interface by using this React. But why we need to use React? So the first feature of this, it's using virtual DOM. It uses virtual DOM. And next one is JSX. Next one is JSX. And each and everything is a component in this. Each and every JavaScript module is treated as a component in this. Next one is routing. So these are the main features of React. The first one is virtual DOM. So virtual DOM means when we are going to modify a specific data in the document, we have to load entire data. If you have a tree structure in the document object model, for example, so HTML body, and in the body we have different kinds of elements of HTML. If you want to change any kind of data in the specific module, we have to start with the HTML body and we have to traverse all the tree elements here. But when we are going to virtual DOM, each and every element maintains another element virtually. So when we are going to manipulate the data, the specific part will be manipulated. We don't need to load entire data again. So that is virtual DOM. And very similar to this, the next concept is JSX. JSX is JavaScript extension. By using this, we can combine the HTML and JavaScript code. We know how to write the HTML part or the JavaScript part in HTML. For example, if you want to implement the dynamical content in the HTML document, we have to use JavaScript. For implementation that, we have to use the selectors. We have to use document.getElement by ID, document.getElements by tag name, document.getElements by class name, all this stuff. So we have to use the functions for selecting a specific HTML element if you want to write any kind of dynamical content. But by using JSX, we can combine the HTML part as well as the JavaScript part. We need not to use any kind of selectors here. Alright, and the next one is component. Component is nothing but one of the JavaScript function module. The JavaScript module is treated as a component in React. And the next one is routing. So we can provide routing. So we will show you how to do that in React.js. And the performance is very high because we are using the virtual DOM here. So when we are going to work with the virtual DOM, we need not to load entire document again when we are going to modify a specific content. That is the reason the performance is very high. These are the main features of React, and now it's time to install the React project in our machine. So for installing React, we used to have the Node.js in our system. Node.js, and we need to have npm. So these two are main important aspects for installing a React project in our system. So is your system having Node.js installed? Yes. What about others? Yes. So everyone need to respond here because we need to get all the we need to do the practical exposure from this topic because we need to practice each and every concept of React here. No sir, tell me sir. Okay. So if you want to install Node.js, you have to open the Node.js official website, that is nodejs.org. Nodejs.org. And from here we have to download the latest version of the Node.js. So you have to download this. I already installed this in my system. So you have to download. So if you are using 64-bit operating system, if you are using 32-bit operating system, you have to click on other downloads and where you can select 32-bit. So if the download process is completed, just respond in the chat box so that we can continue. So I already told you how to download that. So I am going to provide you the link also. This is nodejs.org. Completed. Download is completed. You know how to install it, right? So you know how to install. Yes, completed. So now it's time to install the software. So you know how to install it. So you have to double click on it and you know everything. So we have to press next until we got finish button. I think this is the procedure for Windows operating systems. You have to do the same procedure for installing this. Just try to install this, and if the installation process is completed, just try to respond in the chat box. So after installation procedure completed, you can message that installation is completed. Okay, completed. So what you have to do, you have to open your command prompt. Just open your command prompt once. I'm going to open Control Alt T, that is terminal, because I'm using Linux operating system. You have to open the command prompt. You know how to open the command prompt. You have to press Windows button and you have to use CMD command. Yes. So this is the command prompt. Open the command prompt. Completed. So I think you open the command prompt. After opening this, you have to type this node space -v for checking Node.js version. When we are able to see the version, that means you install the Node.js software successfully in your system. So I'm having 15.3.0. That is the latest version of the Node.js here. I just used 15.3.0. Similarly, we have to check npm also. npm-v. My npm version is 7.0.14. Okay, so Node.js is for the environment and npm is for package manager. If you want to install the package, or if you want to remove the package, or if you want to upgrade the package, you have to use npm. So we have different kinds of Node.js packages for simplifying all the different kinds of functionalities. So Node.js is environment and npm is for node package manager. Now it's time to install the React application. So you have to use, so React is one of the packages from Node.js. We have to use npm install. So we have to use create React app. We have to provide -g or --save. -g means global installation. -save means we can install the software particularly in a specific folder. This is the difference. So we have to use -g because we can use anywhere in the machine. So we have to use npm install create -react-app space -g. So I would like to copy this command and paste it. So copy selection. I'm going to paste it here. Yes. So if possible, I'm going to use the same command in this. All right. So npm install create react app -g. So after that you have to press enter. After that you have to press enter because I already installed the software. I already installed this package. So that is the reason I can skip this. I'm going to skip this. So you have to press enter after entering this command, so that your execution will be started. After your execution part, or your after you completed the installation procedure, you can respond in the chat box. If your installation process is completed, you can respond in the chat box. Durga Vasu completed. What about others? Is that the installation procedure completed for everyone? Yes, completed. So completed. So we got a message from Upendra. This version is only for Windows 8. Oh, I don't have that much of knowledge in Windows operating system. I know how to use that, but you are using Windows 8, right, Upendra? Are you using Windows 8 operating system? Okay, so now it's time to install the project. So we installed Node.js and npm, and we also installed the React package in our system. So, and after this, we have to install the project. So for that, we have to choose a location. So I'm going to select documents. So I have documents location. So no such file or directory, documents. So let me check this. Open folder, and this is the documents. So we have documents, and let me open this. So cd, and we have to use documents like this. Documents. Yes, we don't have any such file or directory. So I would like to copy this, and I would like to paste it here. So home, Hanuman, and documents. So let me open the ls command. We use ls command here. Now we have documents. Documents is already there. documents. So again, documents. Yes, now I'm in documents. Now I'm in documents location. So let me check what are the different kinds of documents available in this. I'm going to use ls again. So I don't have any kind of document. So I can create the new project in documents location. I selected the documents location here. So you can choose your specific location, either C drive, D drive, different kinds of drives are available, right? Sir, no sir, mine is Windows 7, not able to install. So what is that error you are getting, Upendra? You can paste it here. Okay, so I just selected the documents location, and here I'm going to create the project. So for creating a project, we have to use create React app, and we have to use the project name. So I'm going to use project training, project hyphen training. I'm going to create a project with the name of project hyphen training. So we have to use create hyphen React hyphen app space project hyphen training, and then press enter. Yes, now creating a new React app is home Hanuman documents project training. All right. So from here we can understand we are installing the packages like React, React DOM, React scripts, and CRA template, and etc. Not able to install. Yes, Upendra, you can send me. This application is only supported on Windows 8 or high. Yes, yes, yes. The latest version Node.js is supported in Windows 8 or latest version only. So why can't you install the older version of Node.js? So you are getting this error while installing Node.js or React.js. Kindly respond in the chat box, Upendra. So this installation continues. This application is only supported on Windows 8 or higher. Node.js, yes, yes. So why can't we install Node.js 14 instead of 15? So you are getting error while installing Node.js 15.x. So you can use the Node.js 14. Just try Node.js 14 once, and I'm going to type the second command also. Please create React app, and we have to use the project name. Okay, just try this. And how many of you install the project? So let me check this. Yes, it's still installing. So if if your installation procedure completed, you can respond in the chat box. So my installation procedure completed. I'm able to see this here. So when you got this happy hacking message, that means your installation procedure is completed successfully. Okay, all right. So just install the software and we'll continue day after tomorrow. So I got a question that, sir, what is the difference between React and React Native? React.js is for developing the web applications and React Native is for developing the native applications. That's the difference. Okay, just come up with the React day after tomorrow. We'll continue from React concepts. Okay, so the time is already 6:30 now. So please send comments to download. Which comments? Kumar Venkat Sai Nikhil. Which comments you want? React app comments. We already shared that in document, right? So these are the comments: npm install create react app -g and create react app and project name. These are the comments only. I already shared in this document. So if you want to share me this document, I will share this. Okay. So now it's time to wind up the session for today and we'll continue day after tomorrow. In this course, you will cover React Native or not? No. We won't cover the React Native. That is not in syllabus. So we cover React.js concepts. Whatever it may be, we have to use React.js concepts in React Native also. Okay. So the procedure is completed, but we have to use some kind of IDEs and environmental setup for React Native. That's it. So let me wind up the session for today. Thank you everyone. Thank you very much.